Welcome back to the other Prince William podcast. I am your co-host, Martina Jackson Green, with my host,
co-host, Bob Sweetie.
Yes. And today we have an amazing guest. We are highlighting change makers in our community. And this season, we're diving into stories of innovators, advocates, leaders who turn challenges into opportunities and who are making an amazing impact here in the greater Prince William community.
I always say that there's this guy across the pond who's going to be king someday. What are we going to be? His name is Prince William. So is ours. What is our North Star? And people like Dr. Franco are here for one reason, and that's to help us get to that place, this pinnacle of community service, this giving back, and this really important supporting our greater good. Today, welcome, Dr. Franco. She is the Executive Director of Northern Virginia Food Rescue. She holds a PhD, that's a doctorate, in social and community services, and has extensive experience in nonprofit leadership, focusing on housing, housing, and resource access. At Nova Food Rescue, she has spearheaded initiatives that bridge surplus food resources with communities in need, setting a new standard for food recovery and distribution.
So as we begin this season, we are kicking off every episode with an icebreaker. And we want to know, Dr. Megan, and we've kicked it a little bit. I know how you roll. So we want to know, what's your favorite spot here in the community?
Oh, God. It's probably going to be some Two Silos-ish. You can get a good whiskey and a Diet Coke, yes, and sit outside and people watch. So, yeah, I'm a little partial. Bring my baby.
Yes.
So
You are talking my language.
Yeah.
It's weird. Nobody ever says whiskey and Diet Coke.
Yeah,
That's
whiskey
what
and
I
diet.
drink.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to it that I'm like,
Dude.
yeah. So
And if you had whiskey and Coke, it's like sugar on sugar.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
And I figure I could save a little calories. Well, you know.
Okay, Two Silos is a good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Tell us a little bit about how you began your journey in community service, especially with food insecurity. Was there anything that inspired you to take your career in that direction?
Yeah, what's funny is I started out actually as a counselor. Years ago, I was like, I'm going to be a child psychologist. And so I got into the counseling field a little bit. And then I realized that there was a connection between housing and mental health. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the children that I saw, I noticed that their parents were struggling in different ways, and it just kind of became generational. So I pivoted in my career a little bit into more of like the social work aspect and did a lot of case management, dealing with housing and things of that nature. And I'm originally from Virginia Beach, so working in the 757 and a lot of resources and amazing opportunities. But when I learned about Northern Virginia Food Rescue, I'm like, okay, this is a win. First off, I'm moving to Northern Virginia, which is
703.
Yes, which is incredible. And then I learned about food rescue, and I'm like, wait, I can deal with a basic need and still continue to serve the community. Because when you don't have your basic needs met, of course, it's going to impact your mental health.
Yeah.
If I don't know where my next meal is going to come from, where I'm going to lay my head, I'm not thinking about those other areas.
That's right.
So to learn about the opportunity to take food, surplus food,
So it's food insecurity, when you say that's what you mean, that's what you said, I think.
Yes.
So 1 in 2 people
Roughly.
are basically hungry.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my choices are limited, or I'm just completely hungry.
Wow.
So, you look at the heat map out here and you got little pockets of food deserts where it might be a 7-Eleven, and that's my option, or I have nothing. To work with many of our partner pantries, which have been incredible, to be able to give them the food, to be able to turn around and give it to the public. It's a great partnership. So I love it.
I know that you have discussed food issues and food insecurity at the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council. Dr. Megan's at the White House.
Wow.
Okay.
Speak a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Got all those letters behind your name. So How do you ensure that food resiliency and availability remains a part of that broader conversation? How do we get everybody to understand the role that they play in solving this issue?
Hi, I'm Lovey Hamill. I'm CEO of Employment Enterprises. And we're so proud to sponsor the other Prince William County podcast in order for us to celebrate our 45th anniversary. You can find us at www.eeihr.com. Call us when you want to take the stress out of hiring.
Well, I think just even having platforms such as today to be able to even speak, because a lot of times it goes over our heads because we have our own issues and the things that we're dealing with, that I don't think that people understand the impact of food insecurity. Our neighbor might be facing that, our coworker might be facing something. We have no idea. So to be able to get out here and speak. So if there's ever an opportunity where I can kind of share and advocate and explain the impact of food insecurity, that's what I'm here for. But I love the other component to it because I'm so focused on feeding folks that there's the environmental component. So that's why I got to speak at the White House is you look at if it's not going in the landfill, then it's not turning into greenhouse gas emissions. And of course, we want to keep Prince William beautiful. We want to breathe in that healthy air. So that's the really cool other side that I tend to forget, honestly, myself, because I'm focused on feeding people. And then, of course, if we have food that we feel like is not the best for human consumption, we partner with farmers out here. So that way we give it to the livestock and compost. So it's a zero waste model. To be able to get out here and speak, I think is just the best way to advocate and educate. So
You had an example, Dr. Megan,
yes.
of diverting some food from the landfill. I remember this story. It was like a big truck. Was it from Starbucks?
Oh, man.
Tell us about that. That's a great story.
Yeah, so we got a call from a trucker who happened to live in Manassas, and he had picked up some Starbucks in New Jersey. We didn't know what it was. He was on his way back and said, "Hey, can you take it?" So I'm thinking coffee. I'm like, that's coffee. Yeah, just bring it right here. And so he pulls up, and it's almost 100,000 breakfast sandwiches, the bacon and Gouda sandwich.
So good.
A whole truckload. And so what happened was when he got to the distribution center, they stuck a thermometer in a box and it was a degree or two over what they accept. Still frozen, but based on their guidelines, which is understandable, they said, you got to throw it away. So we're like, oh my goodness. So we were so grateful to receive that rescue, but because of storage, and this isn't the norm for us, but we had to turn it into, hey, let's get on social media, swing by the warehouse if you like these sandwiches. And we had this whole
Available right
oh my goodness. And it was perfect timing because kids were getting ready to get out of school, pop it in the microwave. So it worked for the families. But you do the math, a breakfast sandwich there is about $5-6. So we are looking at a pretty penny.
Yes.
That would have gone in the trash. Still frozen when we got it. So to be able to take that, divert it, and get it out to the public, and we did it in like 24 hours.
Wow.
Not even 24 hours. Yeah, I was so tired that but
Do you know Rico Fleischman?
I don't.
I'm so happy you don't.
Okay.
But you just gave him an advertisement 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
When you said keep Prince William beautiful. He's the executive director.
Okay.
And I want you to join his board.
Okay.
And he is amazing. He's on this season's podcast too.
Okay.
Actually. And he is looking for environmental sustainability advocates.
Okay.
And one of the things that he's doing at Keep Prince William Beautiful is going through cohorts each year.
Okay.
8 months, I think, of training to get a certificate in environmental sustainability.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. I just finished. I graduated in June. And I want to highly recommend that you do it.
Because you need more letters, Dr. Megan.
No,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful because what you learn is this community and how we are doing it and where some needs are.
Yes.
Happening with the landfill. And I used to call that the dump, by the way. And all the goods that's kind of happening out there, and that where corporate Manassas and corporate Prince William County can lean in to help this us be more environmentally sustainable. So what have you found to be the biggest misconception people have when it comes to the need for assistance?
I think there's a misconception, and I'll speak for myself personally, is that, a person in need, there might be some laziness or they're looking for a handout, and that's not the case. I could speak for me. My mom was divorced. My parents got divorced. I think I was 11, 12 years old. And she's having to go back to school to become a nurse. So she's feeding 3 kids, working full time, going to school in the evenings. And so it's still difficult to make those ends meet. And so something like that would have been beneficial to us growing up, a food rescue or a food pantry or something of that nature. So I want people to get that misconception out of their mind, like, oh, it's laziness. Why do we need to help our neighbor? Well, if we don't do that, then you don't have Dr. Megan Franco's who grew up one day.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's important to make sure that we're looking out for our neighbors.
OmniRide is your transportation provider for right here from Prince William County and beyond. We have lots of local routes in eastern Prince William, Manassas area, all of which are zero fare. We also have routes that can take you to the metro station zero fare for access into DC and points beyond. Just as important, we have our services on the I-66 and I-95 corridors if you need to reach the Pentagon, Crystal City, and of course our nation's capital. OmniRide is a proud sponsor of the other Prince William podcast.
A lot of folk, we've seen people at the grocery store in need of help, right? Either you see somebody who comes up short at the register or somebody outside is asking you for help. Where do we send folks, right? If somebody says, Martina, I'm hungry, and in my job, I get that call a lot.
Right.
Where do we send them? How do we get people to the right places to get some assistance?
I've been up here again 2 years, and I am extremely impressed with the amount of social services that are out here.
Well, good.
So I definitely recommend getting connected. I know we have the Crisis Receiving Center that's going to be opening this fall, which I'm so excited to go and visit to learn about this. It sounds like a one-stop shop for a lot of things, whether I need housing assistance, job placement, job readiness skills, to register for some sort of benefit. So I really recommend tapping into the social service component and getting connected that way. I mean, it's just absolutely impressive. Every time you turn around, though, there's some sort of event going on out here every weekend. So, you can go get plugged in. You have also Capital Area Food Bank. You can call their hunger helpline and listen to figure out, hey, these are the areas where you can get some food, because the county's pretty big. So you want to be somewhere that's probably closer that you can get to. You got the East End, the West End, somewhere that might be on the bus line that is just easily accessible. So being able to call those resources. I know for us personally at Food Rescue, we are chairing the Prince William Food Council, which Martina was so thankful. She came and spoke last week, which is, oh my goodness, it was the best meeting ever. They have folks sitting glued in their seats still talking about it.
Was she wearing pink?
No, she wasn't. No.
I was just wondering. Sorry.
But, as a food council, that's something we're currently working on, is connecting with 211. So I can call 211 for various resources.
Yeah.
Not only are we doing that, but we're trying to work on some sort of map that you can click on the website and you can figure out on the map who is serving what, when, and so on and so forth. So
Are you, so 211, if you don't know, go look up 211. It's state-funded helpline that our nonprofit community is all being profiled in, and then also government assistance and other services, kind of a resource hotline. Are you in 211?
Yes, we are. And it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
And I'll agree. I know growing up, my mom didn't know what resources were available. So it's a matter of asking. It's a matter of connecting with folks. So don't be afraid to call 211.
Yeah.
Don't feel discouraged. If you get a no here, check to see what other resources are available. Or you can call us at Food Rescue and we can help you. 703-822-5205. Give me a call.
So, and I will say, for all of you nonprofit executives out there that are listening to this podcast, if you don't know what 211 is, go figure it out and get involved in it. It's a way for everybody to be centralized so that information and resources can get out to the people who need it. Kind of shifting back to big picture, now that we're on our 211 stuff, what would you say the biggest challenges to working in the nonprofit industry? So it's kind of big picture, but I want you to kind of come at it or think about your own board of directors, where they're coming from, where your staff is coming from, how hard is it to keep getting people who want to serve, all that kind of stuff. Kind of from that perspective, how is it going?
I have a great team. I have a great board of directors that have been super supportive, an amazing team that goes in and day out. You have to understand, in nonprofit, you're not doing this because you're rich.
That's right. That's right.
We all know that.
We know that. So you have to have some sort of heart for what it is that you're doing. And the extra benefit is we got some food in the warehouse too.
Yeah.
But everyone's been amazing, and you just have to stay motivated. We all come together, we sit down as a team to figure out, not only do we meet weekly, but we also meet, twice a year to figure out, are we staying on track? Are we providing the best services to folks here in the community? Are we staying on top of the trends? Are we facing and pivoting? There's been a lot of changes in the last 6 months. And so people that might not have been affected before by food insecurity or just even needed some sort of resource, they don't know what to do today. So we know that we need to be there for those folks and answer those questions, because you think about the fear or the thoughts of the things that are going through their minds, and it's like, how can we provide that support?
What's your vision for the food rescue for the remainder of this year, and how can the business community support you?
Before I started, food rescue started during the pandemic. It was an answer to food insecurity during the pandemic. And then we also had this backpack initiative because the kids are out of school all day. Children that might have gotten breakfast and lunch at school, they're home literally all day long. And so they started this weekend backpack initiative to make sure the children were getting food. But now we're at a place where it's post-COVID funding. So the food that we purchase with those funds, we're starting to see the end of that. And so how I could really ask for businesses to support us right now is, if you want to host a food drive, you want to come visit, you want to learn more how you can get involved, please give me a call. But we don't want this to end, because again, food insecurity out here is about 43%. That includes children. And as a child, if I'm in the classroom and my stomach's growling, I'm not paying attention to the teacher. My test scores are failing.
That's right.
I might have some behavioral issues and things like that. So we got to make sure these kids' bellies are full. Something that I would like to see, just a little more sustainability, and the community wants to come together and kind of support us and help us brainstorm. And so that's where we kind of are right now.
Me personally, I lived in a car for a little while with my mom and 2 sisters. And we were also divorced. My dad died when I was 10, and we had to go. I don't want to go into the whole story, but it was bad. It was kind of like your story, and we were food stamps, and we were free and reduced lunch. And I had a blue ticket, and everybody else didn't have a blue ticket.
I remember the ticket.
And so you had the ticket. You just had the lunch lady. It still left a scar. I mean, I remember I had to hand that blue ticket to everybody in the line knew that
I remember
a free and reduced lunch. And we've been asking, what is your why, from our other guests here? And I would love to hear is, why do you do what you do? You're a doctor.
Yeah.
You could go make millions somewhere. You could invest in a data center and be rich. Why do you serve hungry people right now? Why do you give back?
Breaking generational curses. When I was working in the housing field, working with shelters and transitional housing, I would work with children who are here with their parents, and I would talk to their parents, and their parents will tell me the story of how they were also in the shelters in certain projects. And so it kind of dawned on me, like, oh my goodness, it's a generational thing. It's a family thing. This is all I know. And sometimes I talk to kids, and they would name certain projects and things like that. And, I plan on living here one day. And it's like, oh my goodness, this poor baby, all they know is this 4 walls. And so how do I end that for them? So to me, working in the human services industry is like, this is how I break this. This is how I help the families move forward. And if nothing else, hopefully I can touch little Bobby and encourage him to one day grow up to be great.
I was a Bobby my whole life. So, in fact, even through high school, my high school friends still call me Bobby.
Bobby.
So, Dr. Megan, you are also a part of a very elite group of folk.
Okay.
Known as the alum of Leadership Prince William.
Yes. There's spark in the dark.
Oh, come on, Sparky.
Spark in the dark.
Wow.
So can you just tell us briefly how that experience has impacted you as a leader and the connections you have here in the community?
So Leadership Prince William, if a person has not gone through it, I highly recommend going through. I know my fellow alumni.
24.
We're class of 2024.
Yeah, we do more.
We do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, sparkling dark because we had no lights.
There's nothing deep about it.
Oh my goodness, it challenges you in ways that I know I personally didn't expect. You know, I just thought we were going and go through our little lessons, but it was very eye-opening. It pushed me to different perspectives. It allowed me to meet some amazing people.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
And you were new here too. So
I was new here.
better, yeah.
It was even better, yes. But it challenged me in ways as a leader that I didn't think would be useful. It allowed me to understand my staff a little bit even more. It allowed me to understand the community even more. The field trips were incredible.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with the various aspects of the county, which made me fall in love even more with the area. So just bragging to my family, like, hey, did y'all know this? You know? I felt like a kid again on those field trips. Like, I don't know if y'all remember on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, like, you know, so it was just very eye-opening, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's interested, but I highly recommend folks check it out.
Wow. Well, thank you, Megan. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all of the insight, and thank you all for listening. We are looking forward to the rest of our conversations in season 2, and we hope you'll join for the next episode. I want to personally thank 2 important organizations, Employment Enterprises, who helped sponsor season 2, and OmniRide for their great support of the Chamber of Commerce and the other Prince William podcast. My co-host and I would like to thank all of you for listening. And once again, Megan, thank you for being.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.